Congresswoman Crockett for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your time. There are a lot of things that you have been asked today, and you clearly have a lot on your plate. So I'm going to stick to one subject matter that is crucial to all families that House Democrats are committed to upholding in this Farm Bill: nutrition. At the USDA, you award billions of dollars annually to support the nutritional needs of Americans from all walks of life. I especially want to commend your repeated commitment across USDA leadership to supporting nutrition programs that serve all Americans regardless of their circumstances. But with so much on your plate, there are some things that can fall through the cracks. In particular, I'm referring to GusNIP and produce prescription programs. These programs provide critical assistance to Americans that need to stretch their SNAP dollars further and those that face medical complications from poor nutrition. But in each of these programs, not all fruits and vegetables are treated the same. Under current USDA policy, fresh fruits and vegetables receive more favorable consideration than frozen, despite the best science showing no nutritional difference. I'm concerned by this because we know that frozen is often better for folk that most need nutrition assistance because it keeps for longer and provides more variety. Now, I have no issue with fresh, so don't get me wrong. But if we want these programs to be accessible and be accessible for as many people as possible, we should have parity between fresh and frozen. That is why I introduced the bipartisan SHOPP Act with Congressman Alford, which now has 22 House co-sponsors and 4 supporters in the Senate. And if I recall correctly, when Congressman Rose asked you about the lack of parity on fresh and frozen in these programs last year, you said you would get back to us. So my question, Mr. Secretary, is whether you will commit to increasing equity in these programs by evaluating establishing parity between fresh and frozen fruits and vegetables in GusNIP and the produce prescription program.
Congresswoman, I'm happy to commit to encouraging those who use our nutrition programs to consider and to participate in fruit and vegetable consumption. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about what parity means and how it would act and react in terms of our prescription produce program, for example, where we're working with pediatricians and physicians, how it would work with our GusNIP program, where we essentially provide resources, how it would work at farmers markets, where it probably wouldn't because it's mostly fresh fruit and vegetable. There isn't any frozen vegetables available. So when you promote a farmer's market, are you suggesting we not promote the farmer's market because it doesn't have frozen?
No, what I would say is that I have a district where 20% of my district live at or below poverty. And because of that, my district probably in a disproportionate way is in more need of access to fruits and vegetables. But what we typically see is in underserved communities, they don't necessarily have the big grocers. So I have so many food deserts in my district. And so what happens is they don't necessarily always have grocery stores. And if they do have grocery stores, those grocery stores don't necessarily have fresh fruits and veggies. So if it's a matter of I can use my SNAP benefits so that I can get fresh broccoli, but the only place that I can go to maybe is the convenience store that's down the street, and the convenience store has frozen broccoli, why is it that I can't go to the convenience store? What's going to happen is I am now put into a situation where I now have to go to an area in which they have fresh fruits and veggies instead of being able to use.
I'm more than happy to work with you on that issue. That's a slightly different issue and has slightly different responses. One is basically taking a look at what convenience stores have to offer in order to be able to qualify for the SNAP program. The other aspect of this is how we might be able to use the Healthy Food Financing Initiative that supports corner stores creating broader access to healthier foods, how we might be able to work together to make sure that frozen vegetables are part of what they are able to provide.
And I thank you for that. I use that as just a general example, but overall, even if it's another grocery store, I would want people to be able to choose frozen because some of those grocery stores don't necessarily have, I would say, the most appetizing fresh food sometimes. But I'm going to move on to another issue that is specifically super important to Texas. And that is the summer EBT program. For whatever reason, my home state of Texas is having some problems standing that up. And I would like if you could update me on what other states are refusing to feed children during the summertime.
There are 14 states, and we'll get you a list. Nebraska just recently decided to come into the program, so there are 14 states.
Thank you.
Gentlelady yields back. Now please recognize